we're going to have like a Zoom discussion with Angela Creedon. She's the Associate Vice President for Public Relations with Arizona State University, our good friend right across the street. Angela, it's great to see you again.
It's great to see you, Father Rob. Thanks for having me today.
Even if it is only in cyberspace.
Yes, we're adapting.
And quite well.
Yes.
Hey, Angela, I know there's some big questions people have been having. When does ASU think they will reopen? Is there any indication or any idea?
Well, I think it's really, really important for people to realize that ASU is open. I mean, we are open for business. And right now, we have moved into a digitally enhanced, full immersion online. Students are taking classes. We've had over 200,000 engagements with our students. So ASU is presently open, and we're offering full services to our students, everything from our residence halls, our Hayden Library, our student health services. So we are in effect open right now. Now we've had to adapt and we've had to make some adjustments, and we're doing everything we can to maintain the health and safety of our faculty, staff, and students. But we are open and we're continuing to operate. We've just had to adapt.
What's everything look like for the fall?
The fall, I'm glad you asked, and there's a lot, we're waiting to see what the fall is going to look like, but we're making plans. We are continuing to look for, our plans are still in place to operate as business as usual, but we do have plans in place that in the event that we had to operate as we are today, we'll continue to do so. But we're welcoming students back in the fall, and we'll be prepared to open the campus if we're being guided by the public health officials. Everything that ASU does is being guided by the health officials. So the decision really isn't ours. But if, in fact, we're allowed to open, we'll be ready.
Angela, we got to have football.
I know.
We got to have football season.
You love football and basketball as much as I do, Father Rob. So yes, I agree with you. I'm anxious to see both of those come back. We're missing our sports, aren't we?
Badly.
Yes. Yeah.
Very badly. Very badly.
Yes, I agree.
Chris, I know you had some questions too. What's on your mind?
I think, my question is, where everything is talking this week about the PPP and small businesses, and I know the universities have received some assistance through the COVID legislation. What is there things in the works for students in terms of that, or is it all directly related to the university operations, and students aren't going to be beneficiaries of it? I mean, indirectly they're beneficiaries, but are there direct payments to students that you know of?
Well, I do know that ASU has been extremely grateful for the CARES Act, so the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. So we have been the direct beneficiary of a significant amount of that relief. That relief then will go towards our students and those who are most in need. And so we're very, very grateful, and we applaud the federal government for moving in that direction. Those funds that are dedicated to ASU will be allocated to the students and families most in need towards grants, student aid, any kind of financial aid. So anyone who has been directly impacted by this and is in need of that aid will receive funding through that CARES Act.
Great.
Yeah, so we've made plans in place. Initially, when all of that moved forward, we immediately began addressing the students. And of course, our students come to us first, as we expect them to, and we're always here to help them first. So we put plans in place to make sure that they are taken care of, whether it's the job loss, whether it's helping them with financial aid, whether it's other issues that they may need to address personally and otherwise. We're here for them.
That's
so
great.
we want to make sure they know their university is here to meet all of their needs.
Angela, what's the mood right now? I mean, what's the biggest concern that, like Dr. Crow, ASU leadership is having right now? I mean, if you have any idea.
Yeah, I do. you know, we're not really unlike anyone else. I mean, we're all experiencing the same anxiety and the same kind of, you know, emotions that anybody else would experience. But we have the benefit of serving under a tremendous leader. President Crow is phenomenal. He's a visionary, but he also takes action. So he's got us moving forward on a number of fronts, whether it's research, whether it's supporting our local communities through, as Chris mentioned, PPE, or helping support our local communities with donations. I know we were able to make some donations with some personal protective equipment to some of our local communities, or provided COVID testing. We have been able to launch many different efforts. And so while we're experiencing the same emotions and the same anxiety that others are experiencing, when you ask about the mood, we're also continuing to move forward and doing all the things that we should do as a university to be socially responsible. And that's the great part about working for an institution like ASU and working for a leader like President Crow.
Angela, what about graduation?
Well, our students are graduating. So May 11th is commencement. And so our students do have the opportunity to participate in a virtual commencement. So for anyone who is not familiar with that, they can find out online when they go, you know, to ASU online. They can figure out all of the details of the virtual commencement. But if they want to do that in person, they'll have the ability to do that in December of 2020 or May of 2021 as well. So we are offering a virtual commencement on May 11th as well. So graduation's proceeding, ASU is open. You know, while it's different, we've adapted and we're still graduating students and we're remaining open.
Angela, I've been seeing on, you know, like on LinkedIn and some other social media sites that ASU has been kind of in the vanguard in like research about this, you know, finding remedies for this coronavirus. Are you aware? Are you aware of any of those efforts?
Oh, yes, very much so. In fact, it's been phenomenal at some of the research that's been conducted through ASU Biodesign. And I know, just personally speaking, reaching out to one of our researchers and the center director, Josh LeBaire, it's phenomenal to me how quickly they can respond and how supportive they can be of the efforts that are taking place. And it's being done right here in Tempe. It's really just phenomenal. And you talk about the responsibility we have as an institution. It's really incredible. And he's just a phenomenal center director and leader of the biodesign. So it's incredible. And I've had the experience of linking him up with other local institutions who wanted to be a part of the COVID testing. And we were able to implement and support them in their efforts to do that testing for essential and critical employees. So it's been a great partnership.
Yeah, what is it, antibody testing that they're doing, or?
They are doing some antibody testing, and while I haven't been personally a part of that, I also know that the University of Arizona is doing some antibody testing as well. So I heard a little bit about that. So yeah, it's exciting to see how much research can be conducted, and you know, maybe we can be on the forefront of finding a vaccine or finding, you know, a cure for this.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be.
That would be awesome.
It's amazing at these brilliant minds that we have working.
Chris?
Yeah, I was thinking, you know, as you were saying about the virtual graduation, I think it'd be interesting for us to do a virtual baccalaureate mass, you know, on the 10th.
Oh, what a great idea.
Right?
What a great idea.
That is a great idea.
You know, let's engage those seniors. I don't know what that would look like. We'll have to figure that out. But I think that'd be a nice way to send them off as best we can under the circumstances. But are you hearing anything about the job market in general for the new graduates? You know, I have a graduate at a different school, a little bit farther down I-10, but so I'm hearing from his friends.
We know.
I know you know. But just
everybody's
curious,
got a weakness.
Just curious if you're hearing from, through the Career Center or any of the resources on campus, if students are, if the offers that they were receiving have been either retracted or postponed or any of that, just to kind of understand what, as a community, what these students could be going through right now. I'd love to know more if you know anything.
I can honestly say I have not heard of a single student that has had an offer retracted, or now I have heard of some corporations that have just kind of calmed down and said, we're going to not necessarily freeze hiring, but we're going to kind of wait and see how things unfold. But I haven't heard of a single student that's had an offer retracted. So I can't speak to that.
Okay.
But I do work closely with several of our corporations, and many of them are just in a holding pattern. I know there's been a significant impact on, the restaurant industry and several of those types of industries. Several of our larger corporations that I've reached out to are still looking to hire for some of our engineers and some of those types of graduates, where they're still finding a need because their projects are still moving forward. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of that is speaks very highly to the types of graduates that we have here. So
I miss Postinos.
Oh, I know. I miss Postinos, and I hope they're doing well.
I miss the Thirsty Lion.
No.
We'll get you back.
We've got a lot of really, really good local businesses, and I hope we're all supporting our local business right now because they need it.
Do you think that in your planning, obviously in your role, do you see any of that starting back where there's going to be initiatives? I mean, it's hard to say, but where, around campus, around us, around you here, in terms of either help. I mean, we obviously can support with just, by walking in and purchasing something once they're up and running, but is there a kind of a concise plan or some things that you're talking about within your group about helping kind of our local community to kind of get back on its feet once this is over?
I haven't heard any plans, but I work closely with several of our chambers of commerce who are talking about a plan. And there is a plan that council member Randy Keating at the city of Tempe, he has implemented. And so they have already started an initiative to try to help some of the local businesses. And it's a kind of a shop local plan to help the local restaurants. And you can put in a good word for your local business, and they've offered discounts and promoting, takeout. And so I think the chambers and I think a lot of the local businesses have already started an initiative to try to keep some of those businesses really moving forward. So that is something that ASU supports very strongly. And of course, we're a member of the Chamber of Commerce and support the councilman in his efforts. So anytime we can start supporting those local businesses. And yes, Father Rob, getting back to Postinos and Thirsty Lion and several of those businesses, we're going to be happy to do so.
I can't
all
wait.
of our businesses would like to do that.
Angela, a couple of students have mentioned to me that they were getting kind of concerned about any kind of potential backlash toward like Asian Americans. And I'm wondering, has the university heard anything of that nature?
We addressed that very, very early on. President Crow has very little tolerance for any type of for anything of that type of behavior. And so we addressed that right initially. He had an immediate reaction that I would say was not a positive reaction to those types of behaviors. And so yes, we have heard about it. We have addressed anything that we have heard, that's come out of any type of university setting. But it is something that's unfortunate, and you don't want to see that occurring. But it is something that has occurred as a result of this. But I think as we've learned more about COVID-19, we're finding out that it's hitting everyone.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah, so it really is unfortunate that some people can't see beyond that. But yes, it is something that ASU saw initially, and President Crow just, I can't speak highly enough for how he responded to some of those behaviors, and we just have zero tolerance for that kind of behavior at our institution.
Yeah, I was very pleased to see that, students came forward very concerned about that would not
Yes.
be taking place. And
Yes, exactly. And as soon as President Crow heard about it, he just immediately sent out a message to make sure that students knew everyone's welcome at our institution, and we would not tolerate any kind of behaviors that send a message otherwise.
how about Angela? Any, like, especially like with our students, are any of them like, how are they kind of adapting? I mean, themselves. I mean, have they been pretty resilient, or I mean, have a number of people just gone home, or?
A lot of our students have gone home, but we do have some that could not go home. And so those students are being taken care of at the university. We have dining halls that are open. We have our residence halls that are still open and taking care of those students. We do have clinics that are open. So they still have services that are available to them. Then they are taking their classes. So they do have, we are making sure that they're all taken care of. And yes, you're finding that our students are very, very resilient. And, where they have needs, they've been able to communicate with us, and we're able to take care of them. So we're finding that our faculty, staff, and our students are all very, very resilient, and we're pleased with that.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Chris?
I think we want to be respectful for Angela's time today, but I just think maybe there's any last thoughts that you both have on, what we can do going forward through the summer. Obviously, is this, for all of us, the plan's evolving. We really don't know what it's going to look like. But over the next couple of weeks, obviously, as the federal government gives a plan, the state government then will move its plan in place. I'm sure then it'll trickle down to here right at the corner of university and college. But I don't know. I just want to maybe get the last thoughts you both have, and we'll let Angela go about her day.
I think that I'm sure that the bishop is going to, he's going to ease restrictions, but he'll take his cues from the governor's office. And at least from the sounds of things, it looks like the governor has been putting together, kind of like the president did, a task force to kind of like, okay, how would this look? How would this evolve? And clearly that's going to affect the church as well. It's going to be a while, I think, before things are back to full on normal.
And like you said, Father Rob, we're taking our cues from the government as well, from Governor Ducey and from the state. And so we'll open in the sense of on campus open when, they advise that it's safe to do so. But in the meantime, we're going to continue with our digitally enhanced, our online programs. We'll continue with graduating our students on May 11th and welcoming back a fall class. We do have summer classes, so that's exciting. There are students who are going to be here in the summer as well, taking online classes. So we're going to continue moving forward. We're going to be conducting research, and we're going to be doing all the things that your great institution loves to do, and hopefully preparing a great football team and basketball team and
yes.
all the great things that we do here.
Oh, that sounds great, Angela. Angela, thanks a lot for doing this.
I'm happy to do it anytime. So please, everyone hang in there, stay healthy, be safe, be blessed, and I'll look forward to seeing you all again very soon.
Angela Creedon, Associate Vice President for Public Relations at ASU. Angela, thanks.
Thank you.